Greetings, dear ones. I'm Kryon of Magnetic Service. I want to extend the message of last night. It may appear different, but it is the same subject. But even before I start giving any kind of information, I want to identify the channel. It's really not an informational channel. There are times when great things are proposed that you haven't known. They're great because they reflect what the human can do. We talk about systems that maybe you didn't know and things that are happening to you that maybe you didn't know. And other times we just want to sit at your feet and talk to you. And that's all of you. There's great awareness of who listens. There is this multidimensional, timeless thing we talk about over and over that says we know the listener. When you have to suspend the linearity of time and know that Spirit knows the potential of who's going to listen. And then since these things are recorded, you have the specter of being in two places at the same time. You see, I'm talking to the listener no matter when they're listening. And to them, it's now. And yet to you, it's now. And let me ask you, whose now is correct? And the answer is all of you. There are these kinds of things that we look at, especially in energy. There's been lots of questions and answers this day of my partner, of me, where I am with my partner. He started to tell a story and never did of what happened to him 5 years ago. It actually wasn't 5. My partner is more like 8. When he stopped compartmentalizing Kryon. Humanity does this. They look at their relationship with Spirit and they segment it. There's a place to worship, a time to worship, what you wear when you worship, a day to worship. You come and you go, you schedule it. And we've said that before. My partner was doing the same thing. Some of you are doing the same thing. When he sat in the chair, he changed because he had to bring in me. The group that is called the Kryon, that is an energy from the other side of the veil that can communicate with you basically through love. And he had to get ready for it. He actually had to leave the room and come back for it. Many people remember these times. I asked him, is he ready for the next step? He didn't know there was one. He thought he had arrived at the last step. There is no last step. You're always going to another one. And he asked what it was, and I said, how would you like to be with that which is your higher self and me? All the time. I can remember his answer. Partly comedic, but there was truth. He said, will it hurt? Partly reality. Will it hurt? And what he meant by that, will it hurt the flow of my life? Can I still be me? As though a magnificent thing would be bad. And then we asked him to try it. It became a meld where no matter where he is or what question he is asked, he delivers the answer from that part of him which is connected to me. In these sessions, some of you can feel it when he flips between Lee and Kryon. Those who discern can see the light in Him change. And this is the invitation, an extension of the last channel we gave you. If God is inside, why do you compartmentalize it? How many of you can meditate while you shop? Some of you feel that in itself is a form of meditation. But the question is this: can you multitask with God? Can you be at work or an assignment or something that you're doing because this is what you do, and at the same time you're involving the grandness of creation? Do you separate to the extent that one does not belong to the other, and then when you're done, then you can have a nice meditation? Have you mastered the art of being awake and meditating and being connected to Spirit even when you drive, so that it's not dangerous? Did you know that was possible? Some of you know more than it's possible you do it. You don't have to leave your body. You don't have to be someplace that is what they would call non-concentration. But you can multitask. Even accountants be crunching their numbers and at the same time be aware of their divinity. Because it can be 24/7, all the time. Humans have not been built for this. And the reason is because that which you call human nature, your society, your training, your culture, has always segmented everything. A time to eat, time to play, time to work. Time to worship. A time for happiness and sadness. And as this meld begins, all of those things also meld. If you start this process and you understand what I'm saying, the compassionate part of you starts to be involved no matter where you are, no matter what you do. It's almost like an extended worship service where you would pray, meditate, sing, feel the presence of God in everything you do. And you would not be worshiping an entity or even a God. You'd be worshiping the joy that you have. You would be grateful that now you can have something all the time and not just once in a while or not just on the schedule. Kryon, is it possible we can be connected when we sleep? What you don't know is you've always been connected when you sleep. That's part of that multidimensionality of your dreams where they go everywhere. And you can't make any kind of linear sense in so many of them. Your brain disengages. A part of Spirit then will be with you in ways it is not when you're awake. Awakeness often creates survival. Awareness of who is there and why they are there and how you can move around and be safe. Can you do that and still be connected to Spirit? And the answer is yes, completely, totally. I want you to revisit your own Akash. There were times, dear ones, eons ago, when you really were in survival. You really did carry a spirit. You really did have something, perhaps, to live in you wouldn't recognize today. And I want to tell you what the indigenous believe. That God is in everything. In the animal that is about to be sacrificed. In the plants that grow for your nourishment. And every step you take, Gaia is with you. The meld was complete. and that has been lost. And now we rekindle that meld, but in this new energy, it goes far beyond this. It starts to enhance the intuition and synchronicity. Who will you meet and when? I speak to a room full of people. It is there now. And I say to this room filled with people, did you meet somebody you didn't know today? And did you learn anything you didn't know from them? Did you recognize them? Not as former family members, not as profound Akashic things, but as member of a soul group called the Creative Source. Could you see you in them? Could you relate? Could you be empathetic to the point where you could join them often and know that you'd be safe and fine? Synchronicity works this way. You're pulled together from places that are very different. For commonality, you have come to the room to hear the channeling, to enjoy the energy, to be with others of like mind. And now let's add the last one, to always expect. Synchronicity with people you don't know. There are those who had answers for you today if you took the time to meet them. Situations and issues that you've asked about and wondered about. Synchronicity is the new key. Intuition will push and pull you, not karma, to come to these kinds of meetings and other areas where you will meet those who are there to meet you. And how are you going to enhance that? How do you know where to go? And the answer is the meld. The last channeling asks you to stop looking for an exterior God and start looking inward to an interior God, so that your meditations would begin differently. Dear Spirit inside. Dear God inside. And when you say those things out loud, the very cells of your body celebrate the fact that you know it. It's almost like they're saying, they're awake. They know about us. Finally, the integration begins. The meld is the invitation to carry around that part of you which is divine, that you feel is God, whatever that is, to carry it into the most unlikely places, what you do, where you go. As you drive, as you walk, as you shop, as you eat, as you talk. And dear ones, when you do that, things change. You're healthier. Did you know that? You can't segment and remove spirit from your cellular structure and only visit it when you want to and expect balance in your cells. Your cells crave this. The balance of bodies crave this. The missing piece, the element that's always been something that has been mysterious and people have asked about over and over. How can I this? How can I that? Your name goes here. How can I go this? What's next? You're not melded yet, or you wouldn't ask. The melded human being is one who is super intuitive and don't even know it. They just know what they should do, where they should go, and what's next. That's the meld that we speak of.